Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Spice Show. I'm Jiff the Fireman on my own here because the hot mama is busy today. She has her nursing studies there, and she has exams that she's got to get done. So it'll be me on my own sim today. Today we have Alpha and Omega, Jared Smith, who's the VP of Sons of Fire. He has his own company, him and Hope, his wife, and Alpha and Omega Hot Sauce. So we'll be covering what he has to offer between his awesome looking tinctures and fantastic sauces. We'll also be talking to Ethan Rivera, who is another Sons of Fire original, concerning their collaboration hot sauces and other hot sauces that Ethan may have, including Tinks, the Krampus coffee, which a lot of us are familiar with. Then on top of that, we'll be bringing in the Podfather, who's our Sergeant at Arms. Everyone knows Shawn, basically. Podfather will be in there to give us a rundown on the new Capgun collaboration for League of Fire, which was imagined and created by Ethan and Jared and brought to life by Shawn, the Podfather. So let's bring them in one at a time. We'll start with the VP, Jared. Let's bring Jared in. Jared, how are we?
What's going on, Jeff?
Everything's going.
It's a beautiful Sunday, man. Beautiful Sunday.
I'm telling you. And of course, what's the beautiful Sunday without the meme lord himself, Ethan? What's happening, brother?
How's it going?
Look at, I know, it's like there.
It's backwards, so it's like
oh, look at that. Well, we're going to bring in the Podfather while we got that, our Sergeant at Arms. Podfather, how are you?
Good afternoon, gents. Come to even up the sides.
Definitely. Well, episode 13 right here. Is it the unlucky or lucky? Episode 13, I don't believe in unlucky stuff. I think it's
lucky for me.
Definitely. So as everyone knows everyone here at the table. Let's start with Jared at the top. Jared, we obviously know you love hot sauce, but
absolutely adore it.
So how do we get into Alpha and Omega? What's your story? Let's hear the Jared Smith story.
Well, basically, Hope and I started. All right, it's a long story, but kind of I'll shorten it here. So I always grow a garden every year, and I always grow jalapenos and this and that, and just minutely, just a little bit of spice. But we always grew, tomatoes, watermelons, corn, etc. So one year I was like, I'm gonna grow some ghost peppers. And I got on eBay or Amazon and bought some ghost pepper seeds, and they didn't germinate. And it's because I was doing it all wrong. So I found the pepper groups and learned how to germinate seeds. Okay, but by then, these seeds that I had were already trashed because I had already wet them and everything like that. So I found jppepperseeds.com, Jimmy Pickles, and he gave out free seeds with every order. So I made a big order. So I have 10 varieties. Plus, he sends me like 15 more. So here I am with 25 varieties of peppers, and I'm like, hey, why not? So I started planting peppers and ended up with 77 plants that year. Okay. So 77 plants, and I have all these peppers. And I was like, what am I going to do with it? I was like, well, I can always try to make some hot sauce. And so I looked up some recipes, kind of do it yourself hot sauce, peppers, vinegar, just do the mash. Oh, it was horrible. I cannot stand like the mashes and just the straight vinegar. I'm like, there's got to be a better way to make this taste better. And so I added this and a little bit of that. And I'm like, okay, that's better. And so forth and so on. And so after I established a recipe, I started toying with it a little bit. And I would go from mangoes to peaches and so forth and so on and add in different add-ins. And so I was using the same base, but different additions to make different sauces. And I was like, well, these are already so done. What can I do? So at this point, I'm like, what can I do completely out of the box? Okay. And that's when I came up with Creamsicle Dreaming. And if anybody's had that, that's a sweet dessert sauce made with tangerines and Madagascar vanilla. And it's really, really, really good. I love that stuff. So that just kicked up a notch for me to even go further outside the box. And I started just come up with these twisted, crazy recipes. And that's what I like to look for, the sweeter sauces that are just completely out of their mind. I got one written right now that's actually a watermelon sauce, and I have everything for it. I just haven't done it yet. So.
Yeah, watermelon sauce. Remember you with the watermelon a couple of weeks ago. I'm wondering how that's going to come out. It'll be interesting.
We'll see.
Him down here, when it comes to sauces and fruit sauces, is the master right here.
We've had a play with the watermelon sauce in the past, man. They work well.
Oh.
Good luck with that. If you need anything, man, you just hit me up and we can chat.
Nice.
That'd be cool.
Nice.
And as Jared says about the creamsicle, it lasted a day in our house. That's how good.
I've heard loads of positive things about that. Yet
And
to try it, but
we weren't trying to cane it either, Podfather. We were just trying to take our time with it, but gone.
that's it. You want it to last, don't you? But 2 meals.
That was
2 meals.
that was
Like that.
and to be quite honest with y'all, you know, when the creamsicle came out, I wasn't expecting it to do that great. I organized a group of 6 testers, and Ethan was one of them, and it just went over so well. So I did another few batches of it, and I couldn't keep the stuff. Now I've moved on to the soy sauce, and let me tell you guys, I cannot keep soy sauce, period. That stuff, as soon as I make it, it's gone, and which is really, really awesome. But at the same time, it's like I get messages, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, I have another job, and I'm trying to serve 2 masters here, you know, and actually I'm married, so that's 3 masters. So you know, that,
all girls
that's
too.
what
So
it boils
it's
down
at
to.
4, 5, 6, 15 masters now with the dog, and then all your girls.
Yeah.
You're the hardest working dude I know, man. You're always either working or sourcing or like adminning on the various groups that you do with Chasing Capsaicin, Sons of Fire.
Literally dedication, brother, man.
Heads. You've even got
Done.
and you work hard. So the stuff you do is, like I said, top notch. Love your stuff. Definitely.
Well, I really appreciate it. And what's honestly, if I could drop everything I do, I would love to focus on hot sauce. But to be honest with you, to make the leap out of my everyday job and to completely going into the world of hot sauce, I would do it if I was a single man. But the fact that I have a family and have, you know, daughters that look for me for support, I don't want to risk their stabilization over my passion, if that makes sense.
100%. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Completely can commiserate with you.
It's nice to have that stability, isn't it? It just means you have to work that a little bit harder with the passion to keep the drive going.
Right. But the only thing that concerned me is in the hot sauce world, okay, to go completely legit, it costs in the tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, let's just all be honest. It's tens of thousands of dollars, being the commercial rental spots or the leases, the bottles, all the money you have to put out up front, the licensing, everything. You know, it costs so much money. And for an everyday, you know, blue collar guy, that's a really risky risk. It's so many different companies are out there, and the competition's so great. Even you, Shawn, you understand the competition's out there, and you have to come up with a great product. It has to be something new, and it has to be something completely against the grain. That's the only way to make it in that industry. And you know, Hope and I have discussed that several times of going, you know, 100% fully legit. And with us buying a new house and everything this year and having one put in, that's a risk that we just cannot take at this time.
Yeah, it's understandable, man. It's understandable, but you know, it's all baby steps. Baby steps and see where it goes. Almost every sauce producer started out this way. You know,
it was this year. The wife was trying to push me this time last year, back in February, start of March, saying, go 100%, you know, I'm behind you 100%. I said, no, let's give it another year. Let's see where we're at. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was so thankful. I didn't go, yeah, let's do it.
Well, I know.
You know,
COVID,
kept that day job.
bad stuff, but at the same time, it's brought together the community a lot more, where we're conversing a lot more, via
definitely
StreamYard. We're communicating better. We're still doing our challenges, and we're stepping up a notch.
Massively. I mean, I'm so grateful for all the support and live streams. It really keeps the passion going and the drive going, and
it's like getting
the community alive.
Pepper expos and the pepper shows at home. I like that part of it.
That's it.
I do have to highlight, though, the fact of being a hobbyist sauce maker. Being a hobbyist sauce maker, when you really put your heart and soul into it and make those small batches, guys, there's nothing that tastes better than a small batch crafter sauce. It really hits home. You open it up and it's that savory sauce, and you're like, okay, this guy wasn't doing it for the dollar. He was doing it because he truly loved it, and you taste every drop of it.
Exactly. That's what I get in the sauce, and I get it where you can have factory made eventually, but for me, and factory made has its place, but I'll only ever use. It's like the beer. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that beer. I'm only going to go with these. And like everywhere I go, this is one of pepper-based sauces. I just got
everything's got a place, doesn't it? There's a market for everything.
I got stuff everywhere. Just oh look, there's a sauce. Okay, let's open that one. And I know that it's a good one made. We've surrounded ourselves by small batch artisan, basically sauce makers, sauciers, and that's where I want to put my support, because I know the amount of hard work that goes into this, and I know the amount of love and dedication. And then you get to sample everyone's flavorings. Like
you do,
man. Podfather's got some flavorings that'll just blow your mind. Where you're like,
thank you.
How did you get that? How did you do it? You read labels and you think, oh, I don't like that. And then you taste it and you're like, wow, that's friggin' really, really good.
I get that so much on the stall when I'm out face-to-face sales and people are, oh, I'm not too keen on peppers. I don't like heat. I'm like, seriously, come along, take a little bit, try it. And then people are like sitting there going, yeah, give me 3. I'll take what you've got. And it's like trying to educate people, the difference between heat and heat.
Yeah.
Because I'm more passionate for flavor than blow your head off kind of heat nowadays. Personally, back in the day, that was my forte. Get the hottest sauce I could, but when I started making it, everybody at the time was making challenge sauces. So I wanted to approach it with my chef background to bring the flavor with the fire. And that's how we originated. Same as yourself, you can taste every single element of your sauces.
Well, I do like that.
Gold.
I like that about all you guys, is that you can really taste the difference.
That's a skill that not everybody has.
What's really kind of crazy about it, when you're first in the kitchen and you're like, okay, and normally what I would do is I'm driving down the road or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that would make an awesome sauce. And I get really excited about it. I'm like, oh, I can add this, I can add this. Then you get to the kitchen and it's almost like everything goes out the window. You're like, oh no, this is better. and by the time you're done making a sauce, you're like, did I write that down?
Always keep a notepad with you.
Always keep a
notepad, man. And 3 a.m. thoughts when you wake up in a cold sweat going, that is going to be epic. And you write it down, and when you try it, you're like, what the hell was I thinking? Not every idea is a good idea.
It really is.
So not every idea is a good idea. No, it's not.
No,
I've had to pour. I've had to, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jeff.
I was saying, I remember you had one you made that you're like, I made this and I binned this.
Guys,
the whole batch. The whole batch.
Cool. I don't remember what it was, but he's like, there's no saving this. It's gone.
It was, I'll tell you what it was, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a pineapple habanero ferment. Guys, that was a 4-month ferment. 4 months went into this sauce, and then I tasted it, and I tried to fix it. And then I tasted it again, and I'm like, yeah, about that.
That's some dedication, that, and that's what we're up against. If it ain't right, you don't put it out.
Right, exactly. And then there's, you know, what's crazy about. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was done.
Oh, I was saying, you know, what's crazy about that is there's been sauces that I haven't been completely 100% convinced that it was right. And then I put it out there and had amazing feedback off of it, you know, and a lot of people don't understand. You're always your hardest critic. Always.
That's what the wife tells me all the time.
You know, you're always your hardest critic. One of Ethan's sauces, he sent it to me and he's like, apparently it's not that good. And I'm like, this stuff's fire. And I don't have the bottle with me right now, but it's almost empty. And because I like a little bit of food with my hot sauce.
That's the thing, man. We've all got different tastes, different palates, but no one's going to critique your sauce harder than you, like you say, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Meme Lord, hello too.
I'm listening. I don't want to interrupt anybody. Trying to be polite.
We want to hear all about this now, and Krampus.
Okay.
Let's hear some of that.
Well, you have there the collaboration sauce between me and Jared. Yep. That is Olympus Has Fallen.
Beautiful thing.
Which is a bourbon bacon chipotle sauce. That is probably the best sauce that I think has come out, at least from my kitchen, to date. Just the flavor pairing and what went into it, I think definitely is one of the best things that I was able to make this past year. And we talked, me and Jared talked about it back and forth for a while, and trying to get flavors down, how we were going to make it a collaboration. And I've made 3 separate batches so far of that sauce. And this past one was just Trinidad Moruga scorpions. The other 2 batches were a medley of hot peppers from Jared's farm. And then this last batch was just a straight box of Trinidad Moruga scorpions. And I think some Bohemian goats that I had from my garden, or my grow tent. And that's what we used. And I believe this last batch is the hottest that it's been because it's just straight the TMS peppers, but the bacon and bourbon with chipotle, you can't go wrong. I mean, it's almost borderline like a barbecue sauce, so it just plays on so many different palates. You know, you can put it on your barbecue, or you can put it on, you know, your chicken wings. It works. So yeah, no, it was definitely an awesome time to be able to talk to Jared and come down with a recipe that worked for both of us, and it obviously worked for the community because everybody loved it that has tried it. So,
well, I can read in the comments. I don't know if you guys are noticing in the comments, but are there any of these available?
No, I have 1 bottle in my fridge, and I'm saving it for somebody. But as soon as I believe the season kicks back up again and we get some fresh pods going, there'll definitely be more batches available through the upcoming year. Hopefully, if everything goes well with everybody's grow. You know,
sounds good to me, guys.
You know what, Jeff? I'm gonna kind of think a little crazy real quick. I have a bottle of this. You know, and I know the maker, so I can get another bottle of this. Why don't we pick somebody out of the comments that's in the chat right now to receive this bottle?
How do I comment?
What I've got here is I've got all the comments in front of me, basically, from everywhere that we're broadcasting. So from Temple, from YouTube, and Chase and Capsaicin. If you guys give me a number, I can go through the numbers and I can find the number, and whatever person that comment is, you can give it to if you wish. If it's someone that's a Facebook user, then they may not get it because they should have gone and given StreamYard permission to use it so we can tell who they are. But
yeah, unfortunately, we don't have everybody's name.
But I mean, at the same time, if you give me a number, I can go through the comments, count through from the beginning. Give me
You want me to give you a
between,
random?
say, 1 and a.
You want me to give you a random number right now?
Yeah.
Don't tell your daughter.
All right, so why don't we go with number 16, because that's how many people are watching right now.
Okay, so I'm going to go from the beginning and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 4,
Right then,
5.
FJ, following on from your comment just about getting a little bit crazy, I'm going to throw an idea out for you here then, gents. Yeah? I want to get in your minds what you're saying. We do a UK-US collaboration source, us three together.
This is number 16, right?
Yay, Brandon.
Brandon Collins.
Oh, snap, Brandon Collins.
That's comment
Nice.
16 out of all of the comments. So it looks like Brandon Collins, you've won a bottle of.
Well done, sir.
I would message Farmer Jay privately, unless he's already got your address. And,
I do. It's fun.
All right, perfect. So yeah, congratulations, Brandon, on that. Not many bottles.
Hey, Ethan, I'm gonna need another bottle of sauce, by the way.
Get cooking.
No problem. I'm gonna need another box of peppers, by the way.
Well, I'm telling you, people talk about the peppers, but honestly, straight up, Jared, your peppers in this community are all over the place. I got a bunch of sources in my stash all over that have come from your sources and John Zawicki's sources, and John Zawicki's peppers. Yeah,
The thing is, I knew FJ's pepper farm before I knew FJ. You know what I mean? It's legendary.
I know.
Well,
I had a
appreciate
pepper
it.
life before I even met FJ. Same way.
I mean, a hurricane couldn't even take down his grow.
Dude, guys, that was terrible this year. I got hit. I'm 420. Hold on. I'm 426 miles inland, and I got hit with a hurricane.
And then like a tornado, was
Yeah, a
3 days
tornado
later.
the next week.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. One more thing, Shawn, definitely want in on that collab. 100%.
Excellent, brother.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
So now, Ethan, what can you tell me and Brownie Boy, Steve Berland, about this thing right here?
So Krampus Coffee was born from a stint of being stuck at home for COVID and drinking a lot of Christmas beers. And I want just the Christmas style beers, the spice and all that goes with the holiday seasonal beer. And I was like, you know what? I need a tink that is that by itself, but
Nice.
can also help in the flavors of those seasonal beers pop a little bit more. So that tink sat for a little over 30 days. It's cinnamon, vanilla, nutmeg, and what else did I put in there?
Lava.
Oh yeah, no. I
Give it
think it
lava.
was a chocolate primatale, some powder and fresh pods that I had from my grow. So yeah, it was it was a hit. I think I have one bottle, but that's my bottle left of that. I think it made about 30, and they all went. I think I sent the last 6 out maybe a couple weeks ago. I sent them out in stages because the postal service was so sketchy. I wanted to make sure people got their stuff, and I had reserves in case I needed to resend bottles out to replenish something that either broke or never showed up. So I sent them out like five or six at a time, and luckily everybody got theirs. And I hope it's still alive after tasting it to enjoy it the rest of the way. But yeah, no, it was really good stuff. I got 2 more tinks brewing. I don't know if you could see them right there.
Yeah, I can see that.
You're eyeballing them up.
So yeah, this is for the tink off. so we won't talk about that one too much. But this is for Doomsday. It's going to be a small batch. I'm actually just took them off of my magnetic stir, which they've been. So I bought one of these. This is a magnetic stir, and then inside the mason jar has a little magnetic pill, and they've just been stirring constantly since I've started. So it's a little bit of an experiment for me. I'm just trying to see if stirring constantly instead of shaking once a day promotes better extraction of the capsaicin. So if it's spicier than normal, then that's good. Also, if it speeds up the making the tink, so I don't have to let it sit for 30 days. If I can get the same heat level out of 14 days because it's constantly being stirred, it helps production, speed up. So, but yeah, those will be released soon. The red one it's going to be called Doomsday, and I'm hoping around an Easter release. Hopefully, I mean maybe before. I don't know. I'm just letting
they can't wait to artwork on that too. I'm sure.
Yeah, that one's going to be
have a
cranberry honey. It's going to be a cranberry honey tincture. This Doomsday, so that's a flavor combo that I hopefully goes well. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, the Krampus, I tried it in beer, and it was really friggin' good in beer. And I had it during the Sun Spy Show when I had Steve and Michelle down, and I just had it in my beer on the side and was drinking it, and it really, I loved the taste of the beer. So once the show was over, we went up to the bar in the fire hall, and it's like, yeah, it's time to burn. Let's do some burning. And I looked down, and I had like tons of tinks, and Steve had brought tons of tinks, Michelle had brought tons of it, and I just remember seeing the Krampus going, "Oh yeah, I just had that in my beer. I'm just going to do a whole rubby because I always leave it
Famous last words.
I did a freaking Jared. Normally I put it under my tongue, let it soak in that way, but too excited, went squirt, and it hit the back of my tonsils and down.
Boom.
I'm telling you, man. And then I had to sit down and Steve comes over and goes, "Oh man, are you all right?" And I show him the Krampus.
Pass that shit. That's what
he said. And then I think he got one of the last few that you sent out. I think
he did. Yeah, that was the last batch or the last.
Yeah, since Steve did it. Excellent.
Surprising heat on this. Surprising heat.
It takes a minute to kick in. That's what I liked about it. You at least get some flavor, and then it's like, oh, this isn't that bad, and then you're like, why is it doing this? and then
I've noticed
the ride.
In the last 6 months with the things that even you guys have done, or people in Chasing Capsaicin have done, is I've noticed that the quality has gotten like amazing from where it was like 7-8 months ago.
I
think get these tanks.
That's one thing about COVID, that if people are at home, they're paying more attention to stuff that they're doing because they have nothing else to do. So tinctures are being obviously shaken and paid attention to every day because nobody else has anything to do. My grow tent, I look at it and I'm checking it like I would be doing it anyway, but every half hour, like, oh, that's a new leaf, cool. I think it's just people are able to take the time that needs to be taken for these craft things a little bit more.
People slow down and appreciate it, doesn't it?
There's no rush to get it out.
Brings me to this right here. This one. Now, so no blowing smoke up your bum. This is in my top 3 of some of the hottest tinks I've ever had for surprise, taste, and flavor. Amazing. And, that's like what Ethan was saying. So when I did the first rubby, I think you remember when I did it, I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. Oh! I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be hotter. And then
you said what?
I was watching and I saw you draw up the Robbie and I'm like, don't do it, Jeff. And I want to be like, no.
Then I did another half Robbie just to make sure afterwards. You know, once I knew what it was and I was a little more prepared. But man,
Right.
So another one in beer is just like, and I'm not talking now. I would do a full Robbie in beer, but so I'm not recommending. But if anyone
It
wants
actually, go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
if anyone wants to build up their tolerance, this is a great way of doing it. Add it to your
Perfect. Yeah.
drop at a time. Just know how strong. Just know how strong that what you're putting it in. This is completely different strength to this devil-looking thing right here, this skull. So yeah, excellent. That and your wizardry. Your wizardry is good too. You saw Jimmy Callahan try your wizardry, yeah? He's like, I think you told him if you do the whole bottle, Robbie, every 30 seconds, and man, he went for it.
And he did a bang up job. Yeah, for some of y'all that don't know, Jimmy Callahan, he said to send him a whole bottle, he would drink the whole bottle. And I was like, you know, that's kind of, anybody can kind of do that, because you can kind of down the whole bottle and then just regret everything decision you made. Okay, you know, lots of us know that.
It's the gut bomb that you deal with, yeah.
Yeah, something then you deal with the aftermath. Okay, now if you're sitting there, I told him, I said, I'll make a deal with you. I said, you get that bottle and you do a Robbie every minute till that bottle is gone. I said, I will buy you any item off the Chasing Capsaicin store. It could have been a hoodie, t-shirt, whatever you wanted. And you know, he did a bang up job. If y'all remember, he got to 4 Robbies, and that's hats off to him. That stuff's warm.
He got to 4, and he's like, I'm done. You know what? I'll do one more. And then he did the 5th.
Oh, one more.
The 5th is what got him. He did like 10 seconds, and he was away. But, you know, we would, you know, because I'm like, okay, so what tink are you going to do, Jimmy? And he goes, the wizardry. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you do? No, I'm not going to tell him because I didn't want to scare him. And I'm like, you're going to find out. And watching him fill the Robbies up again while he's like,
you just say, you can do it.
It's tough, you know. And basically, what Jared had him do is kind of like, you know, the endurance, like what you got, Pod.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Everyone can chug, so now doing it by the spoonful is kind of a
It's a different. You start the burn straight away, the afterburn, don't you?
Yeah,
it's
a
different kind of heat then.
But now that Jared has done that, I kind of like that look for a challenge. You know?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm definitely going to start playing on the Tink train. You know, Jared's got a brilliant video up that he highlighted for me in the Chasing Capsaicin. So I'm going to learn from the master and going to have a play myself.
You say master, Shawn, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I first got into the community and I purchased my first tinctures, guys, I don't know how y'all were doing that stuff all these years. That stuff is just like straight pepper forward. And I'm like, you know, there's got to be a better way to make this taste. And that's when I started experimenting with the flavors. And, you know, I've learned a lot and I've taught a lot of people, but you give me a lot more credit than credit is due, you know, and I've seen a lot of people surpass my abilities and have made a lot greater tinks than I have ever made. Let me tell you, you know, the one that sticks out right now in my mind, you know, I have a couple favorites. Randy's Swamp Punch. That's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Okay, another person, Luis Garibaldo, he's a son. He made a hot chata. And let me tell you guys, that I don't try to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm gonna have to say that's one of my favorites.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. That's a nice one. And there's another more to highlight. Derek, he has a rerun that he made. Derek Hartzell. It was a fabulous tincture. And so all these people that are in this community really have gone above and beyond on tinctures.
Well done, guys. It's great to hear you say that, man.
Derek
You
is
know,
in the audience, basically.
Oh, there he is.
But I see someone here is telling us, what about that Capgun box? So let's have a talk about the Capgun challenge. We'll start obviously with Ethan and Jared. You guys can tell us
the
who wants to lead?
right
I
just
mean,
behind it.
I don't know.
We
I mean,
almost
so
all right. Yeah, I'll give you the history. All right, hold on. Ethan,
yeah. So hold on. Yeah.
you
wait.
go.
So wait. Okay. So so me and Jared work odd shifts. We work crazy hours. I work third shift. I'm usually the exact opposite of everybody else in the world, except people on the other side of the pond. So I tend to have more in common with people that have a different time zone only because of my work shift. But so it was just a late night talk. We were just chatting on Messenger. We're like, we need to rally the troops in chasing capsaicin. We need to bring people together. We need to get people acting or interacting with each other and interacting with the group. Just get people involved. And then we were just going back and forth with ideas. I happen to be watching a movie. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with it. It's an older one, but it was called Basketball. I don't know if everybody knows.
I remember that, yeah.
Basketball. The main actors are the creators of South Park.
South Park, yeah.
And there was a scene which is kind of bad, but also hilarious. They're at a bar, and they're doing shots watching Jerry Springer. I believe it was Jerry Springer. And they're doing I think it's a snake bite. I can't remember the exact shot or what it's called, but it involves salt and tequila and a lime wedge. And I was like, what if we did that kind of essence, but with everything that involves hot? So the first round, we did alcohol. We were just like, oh, let's just do a shot. So we were like, cool, we can add tink to a shot and powder instead of salt and go from there. So that was kind of just like the birth of it. And then we're going, okay, now what do we call it? We're like, I don't know, and it's just back and forth of different ideas. And it got to the point where we were like, well, what if, we're doing a shot, shooting a shot, so I was like, okay, in my head, I'm like, gun. Okay. We're using a gun for something. And then, favorite childhood toy was a Capgun. I remember playing with Capguns growing up. I'm like, cool, capsaicin, Capgun, and then light bulb moment. And that's, that was kind of like a really quick summary of the origin story of the Capgun. But yeah, it's kind of how the stars aligned that night. So yeah,
it's a great Facebook message that Jared posted recently that you guys did. Just the exchange between you two talking about this. It is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun. And then as it went on, Jared introduced and there's people that don't drink alcohol, which is totally fine. That's but we wanted to be all inclusive, so we're like, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be a juice. It could be a tea. It could be a pop. And then Jared was like, how about you just do a whole shot glass of hot sauce, to step it up some, and that's kind of where it definitely it peaked. There was like this peak moment where people,
especially with the hotness. And I like how we ran with that, because I remember early when we started, me and Jared were like, what else can we do? And I'm like, save some of the PPE, the gloves. Let's keep the gloves. Let's use a spoon. And I could take more. Spoon and then add it to it that way. And then we added 15 seconds to keep the powder in your mouth.
Right, yes. Mm-hmm. And then the burn times, right?
Yeah, you got a crazy lunatic that did a whole bottle of the bomb as a Capgun challenge.
And what was great about this? The evolution of Capgun. What was so great about this is it's people are giving credit to Shawn, Ethan, and I. For composing the idea. If it wasn't for Chasing Capsaicin and the people in Chasing Capsaicin that were doing it nonstop. Guys, in the first week that we launched Capgun, I don't even think you could get a live spot in chasing capsaicin.
Yeah, we had a schedule. We're like, no, sorry, somebody's already got that time frame for their Capgun. You're gonna have to wait. And it was just back to back to back to back to back.
I ended up having to put a message up saying, "Look, guys, y'all need to check and see if somebody else is live," because I didn't want anybody to be walked on, and I think that everybody that goes live, and it takes a lot of courage to hit that button, and anybody that had the courage to hit that button and go live, I think that they all needed their everybody's attention that was available to watch. So, like I said, it just reiterates the fact a lot of people are giving, Shawn and myself and Dave and Ethan and everybody a lot of credit, but it was chasing capsaicin, the whole community that made Capgun popular. And if it wasn't for people like Jason and Jeff and Heiko and Nick and all these people that were going live doing these Capguns and calling each other out and having fun with it, it would have never evolved like this.
Like I say, guys, I'm just a chef. I mean, this is for the community, My dream for this was to bring everybody together in the UK, US, globally,
Yeah,
I'm
no
just
borders.
Just
do it.
I just brought this to the League of Fire for you guys, This is your challenge. This is your dream, Let's have
Which is a whole other level of, like, mind-blowingness to begin to, to think about, like, just like, oh, yeah, we just did this for fun in our backyard, home, little Facebook group, this little niche group that we have, and then now it's like, oh, welcome to the world. And we're like, oh, this is real. Like, this is awesome. So yeah.
What? Another thing that completely blows my absolute mind. It's when Ethan and I came into the community about the same time and and became friends rather quickly. As y'all can see, we work really well together. So we quickly became friends, and I looked up to Shen and Dustin and Johnny and James Nixon and all these people that were just burning hard 24/7. And now what really, really blows my mind, it's like you're friends with these people. They're just like, wow, it's like I was wishing to just be a little bit like you, and then I can message Dustin or Shen or whoever it may be, and it's just, it blows my mind where the community is now. And what's great about the chili pepper community is it doesn't matter who you are. If you're just starting out or you've been in the community a couple of years, you message these people and you got a question, they're gonna answer you, and that's awesome.
Yeah, there's genuine help I feel in the pepper community, where in other groups that I belong to with different sorry, my alarm went off. But other niche things, whether it be like nerd, like comic book stuff, or the different fandoms that are out there, there's always that toxic community that's like the elitists that are like, well, that's obviously not the right thing you're doing. But I feel like the pepper community, there's people that are top notch, but they're also humble enough to be like, try it this way, not like, oh, you're doing it wrong. Just they actually help, and that's what sets us apart.
So, in the pepper community, everyone wants everyone to succeed. You always wish the best for everyone else. My main part out of it. So, Podfather, tell us what you have done to advance these guys' Capgun dream. So we've got a League of Fire challenge now. How does that?
Like I say, I mean, I approached the League of Fire, and I said, look, we've got this crazy idea. I've just run with it. We've got the blessing from the guys. I'm just a chef. This isn't my challenge. I just want to bring it to life for them. And they were so excited. Like when we were telling them, they said, yeah, we're familiar with the Capgun. We've seen chasing capsaicin and we've seen the guys do it. Let's talk. But originally, like I say, when we were talking with the guys, we were going to do a spiced honey. So that was the original idea, because obviously we can't sell alcohol through the League of Fire and blah, blah, blah for the legality reasons. Then I looked into kind of the laws of getting it across seas to you guys, getting it into Canada to heat in the capital, and then it was going to be an issue with the honey. So we went back to the drawing board and we said, right, okay, let's do a spiced vinegar syrup tink. So that's the route we've gone down. So League of Fire were happy with that and on board. The Capgun was born. So what we've got the mixed berry habanero chug sauce, which is 35% chili, which I've been told last night it's an absolutely fantastic flavour with a really good burn. Then I've got my pepper blend, which is a blend of 3 different peppers. Then you've got some black pepper, some mustard powder, some cinnamon and cumin and flavours like that in there. So it's not only going to be a capsaicin heat, you're going to get the eyes, the nose, the back of the throat. You know, it's going to attack and wake up all of those senses. So it's also about the flavour as well as the burn. And, you know, you get your little spoon with it, you get your little tin to keep, your little Robbie bottles and your shot glasses to make it a whole set.
Yeah, so you get like a memorabilia keepsake set for after the fact, which is pretty cool. So what's
everything to use afterwards as well?
And Shawn, what kind of rules?
Sorry. The rules. So we're doing 2 runs with it. So what you do, you pour your hot sauce into your shot glass, half a bottle, which would be 50 ml. You take your spoon of powder, and then you put 3 droppers of your tincture on there. And then you take that and hold it for 30 seconds. You do a shot, and then you've got a 2-minute afterburn. And then we go through for the second round, and you repeat, and then you finish up with your 3-minute afterburn. Right. And then you've completed the challenge.
So it's like 2 miniature Capguns.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of that as a challenge?
I think it's gone down really well.
Yeah. I mean, it's man, anything that's a challenge is fantastic. But you know, so are you guys happy with the vision that you see where the Capgun has gone? You know, Ethan and Jared.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's
yeah. Because I mean, I think it's fantastic. You know, because like,
I mean, my face is on a box. Like, it's
before it was just Capgun. Like, what the heck are you talking about, Capgun? And you're like, you know, you're chasing capsaicin. Go to chasing capsaicin, and then you'll figure out Capgun. So it's great to see it like on the world stage now, obviously, and
yeah.
For one,
I mean, like I say, to take it to the League of Fire, because the original one was eat your powder, do your shot, job's a good one. But you know, this time we thought, right, we'll make it a bit harder. You know, you'll do 2, go around twice. Well, so I do finish your bottle.
Yeah, I do notice that you know. You have a nice tendency, Podfather, of giving these beautiful little keepsakes and collectibles, and I do like that.
Definitely, you know, it
does. It's just a little.
It's got to be done. You know, when the challenge is over, you've got something to look back on and think, yeah, I was a part of that. You know,
that's definitely a good draw.
League of Fire is here watching. Bye, everyone. Thanks, League of Fire. We were just explaining the rules to the new Capgun challenge, or Podfather was explaining it, and we were listening and going to like some of the.
It just to be in this community and see your face on a box, and I know Shawn's tired of looking at me and Ethan, but I mean,
like I said, at the start of it, man, I was there. I was like,
yeah, I love that.
Thrilled, you know, and then I've just got to the end.
He's got our posters on his wall now, and
started laughing at me, guys. Yeah. Just looking at his laughing face, and it's brilliant. Like, such an honor to be able to be a part of this with you guys.
Well, there's a lot of feel sake, and even in that face, and a lot of people don't know the history of that face. But Ethan was just messing around, and he was just drawing some of the admin in chasing capsaicin, and I was like, "Ooh, do me," and so he's like, and he sketched it up real quick. Well, I saw a thing where you could get 50 stickers for like $10 or $15, and I'm like,
yeah, man.
Just for fun, you know, I'm gonna do this. So I did it, and it was a joke, like, I'm a sticker, ha ha ha. And then I started passing them out to my friends, you know, and it was just a joke.
It blows up, doesn't it?
It exploded. And everybody, you know,
in the house. Heather, your face is on her t-shirt as well, representing the Capgun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but like I say, just to jump back real quick. So the first Capgun challenge is named after FJ, the Alpha and Omega. And then we were looking at stepping it up a notch, the same way the guys did with the Capgun challenge. So we're going to hopefully go for 3 stages if it's well received. So the first one was branded for Jared. The next one's going to be branded for Ethan. So we're going to call that after his brand.
Hellion.
And then the third one's going to be a collection of everything. So let me know, guys, what you think, whether you want to see the next step up a level. And then we'll just keep on rolling for you.
You know, that's a silly question, Podfather. You're like, yes, yeah.
I'll be doing it for you guys. If not, you know, it can either be 5 or it can be 500. Doesn't matter to me, you know.
Yeah, I'm
small batch, I'm large batch. You know, I just want to bring the community together and let's have some fun, you know. I can't wait to jump on, get some Capguns loaded up again with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, you were talking about earlier, FJ, and I just even remember with Hot Mama, she was called out to do Capgun. And there'd be times when I'd be looking, I'm like, nah, someone's doing the live. Wait, they just ended. Quick, go now. That's how it was. That's how it was. And then you're like, damn it, someone just went before me. I got to wait for them now. And people would start. I'd even
like
start.
I say, it was huge, man. It's getting called out all the time. It's just like, yeah, this is fun.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm going live in 5 minutes, damn it.
And I'm calling all of you out.
Take a number. Definitely.
All right, well, guys, this has been great. I think we've discussed everything that we need to discuss.
Brilliant.
Although, while we're on here for the last thing, I'm going to do this little contest while all you guys are in there, because there's a couple of your names in here, I think. I think Farmer Jay's and Ethan's is. I don't think Podfather's is because he didn't enter, but maybe he might have. I can't remember. Anyway, I met last week with Craig from Ben Sauce, Craig Reinhardt from Ben Sauce. And he dropped me off a case of Ben Sauce. And if you haven't tried this Ben Sauce, friggin' delicious, man. It's a chipotle sauce that's made locally, pretty close to me. And it is great. Like you see, I got Jem down here saying, pick my name, Jim. Yeah, your name is in there. I was looking at it, and I promised I'm not too late now. I promised some bottles out. So I offered out 6, and now I've changed it to 8 because there was such interest. So I'm going to basically pull out, as you can see, I'm going to go through here. I'm going to pull out 8 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. One more. This one. 8. And these are the 8 names that have each one of these guys won a bottle of Ben Sauce. First one is whatever that is. Who is that? Oh wait, I got it upside down. Christopher Campbell, Phoenix Fire.
Well done, brother.
The number 1. Christopher Campbell. I don't know. You guys have seen Phoenix Fire, right? Man. All right. So he's won bottle number 1. Bottle number 2. Goot. Zachary. Bottle number 3 is won by Mike Thompson, another patch member.
Well done, Mike.
Well done.
Next one, Eric Begg. Yo,
well done, Eric.
Nice.
Eric, man, excellent, fantastic, Eric, right there. Next one, Scott's Queen Heather. So Heather goes to England. Oh, Scotland, sorry, UK doesn't go to England.
Did you ever slip another one in a package for me?
Next one there, Rivera, Annie Boyer. You won one also.
Annie Boyer. Nice.
Oh, that's maybe not too bad for me. That's not too far. Number 7 is won by Ragnar Ragnarsson from Chase and Cap Station. Definitely be sending. You guys who have won this, even if you haven't, I'm going to message you guys. Send me address. Annie, I've got yours. Eric Begg, I got yours. Goot, I got yours. I got a few of them. Others, send them to me. The last one. This is the last one. So the last one that we're giving out. Go. Jordan Leal. I think Jordan's out of Canada. So Canada's gotten a good amount out of here. I may just send them all to one person and then they can mail them off to save me postage. So we'll see from there. So each of those 8 people have won great best sauce. And it's easy to make if it's in a plastic container. So congratulations to you 8, definitely.
Nice giveaway, Jeff.
Yeah, definitely. Message me your addresses if you guys haven't got it. All right, almost about an hour. Perfect timing for everyone to go off and do whatever they need to do. I look forward to doing these Capgun challenges and some of this endurance challenge. You know, Podfather, while we have that's another League of Fire challenge that I'm very interested in doing. So we'll say goodbye to you, Podfather. Thank you for coming around. Stick back.
Good night. Thank you very much for having me. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Pleasure. Ethan, I'll be in touch, brother.
Yep. Yeah, we'll catch you. We'll catch you backstage, man. You too, Ethan. We'll catch you backstage. Thank you for being on. Thanks for telling us your story. Love your Krampus, brother. Love that stuff. Farmer J, what can I say, Huipi? I love you, man. You're freaking fantastic. You make such great
It's all about fun, man.
It really is. It is. And I wish you and Ethan like the best of luck with this thing. And, we'll get some of these going. I think it's going to be great to be doing these challenges. I'm sure people in Chasing Cap Station would love it to do this. So thanks for being on. I'll talk to you soon, brother, man.
Thanks.
Oh, and I cut him off quick. I always do that. That's because the hot mama isn't around to help me. So I cut people off all the time. Anyway, as you saw, that was Jared and Ethan and Podfather, Shawn Overthrow. Shawn Overthrow creating, obviously, the Capgun challenge that Ethan and Jared had come up with. And we went over, again, message these guys if you're interested in their sources. I know that Jared's making a few sauces and tinks. And as you heard, Ethan's going to be preparing some in the future. And, of course, while we had Podfather on there, Flavor and Fire, UK, check that out. They've got some excellent stuff that goes from burn your mouth off hot sauces right down to his line of Oscars that is, you know, no heat at all. It's all flavor forward. It's fantastic. So make sure you check those guys out. This has been Jiff the Fireman with episode 13 of Sons of Fire, the Sons Sunday Spy Show. Alliteration. It gets difficult all the time. Stay spicy.